Hey guys, and welcome to Glorious Day Adventures. So today's adventure happens right here at the campsite. We're going to spend some time and we're going to take a walk around and take a look at our new to us Venturist Runaway camper. Talk about some of the things that makes this camper really unique. Talk about some of the modifications we've made to the camper. And then we'll talk about some of the gear that we take with us that really allows us to go out in the middle of nowhere and create a home away from home, feel comfortable, and really enjoy our camping experience. All right, so we're from Florida, and there's always sun in Florida. And so having a really good awning is important. So we have an OVS, Overland Vehicle Systems awning. It's a 270-degree batwing awning, which is great. One person can put it out. It can be freestanding, or you can use poles. We do have these really cool tie downs that we'll put a link for these tensioning systems. They are an absolute game changer. I can set up this awning and tension it out in just a matter of minutes. These things are fantastic. And they're metal, so they'll last like forever. We do have these little LED lights that are rechargeable, and they can go from white to red. And they're really great because at night, when you put them on red, one, it kind of creates a cool ambiance, and mosquitoes don't attract to red light. So we can have all the lights on outside, and they're red, and it's just nice and warm, but the bugs stay away from us, so it's kind of cool. The Runaway Venturist doesn't have like a kitchen built into the camper. It's really meant for sleeping and storing your gear. So for cooking and all of our supplies, we've got this really cool foldable table, and we'll put a link down. It's a great height, it's great size. We have these bends, also from Overland Vehicle Systems, OVS, the company who makes our awning. And they're awesome. They stack, they're metal, so they're really durable. And we have one bin that really has all of our pots and pans and utensils and all those things. And another bin, which is really just kind of our food, right? So this has some paper towels, but it's great. They got a really positive latch, and they happen to fit inside our Venturist Louis really well between the bed and like the shelving as we're traveling down the road. For water, we do have some Dometic water jugs. We have two of them. On this trip, we just brought one, and I believe they hold, I think, 2.5 gallons. And they're really nice because they're incredibly durable. They're roto-molded, so they don't dent. You can toss them in the back of your vehicle. They have handles so you can carry them. And if you want to, they do have a battery-powered pump. It's rechargeable. And so we've used this thing, I don't know, 5-6 times just recently. And it's still running strong on a single charge. So the nice thing is there's a hose that goes down to that pump. I don't got to lift, cans of water. And you just hit it twice, and it'll start filling up your cup. Hit it again, it turns off. So super easy to fill your cups up. And it just works great because, again, I'm not lugging water around trying to fill up cups. So that works incredibly well. In terms of cooking, because we have all of our storage here, the fenders of Louis happen to be a great table. So we do have a Primus stove, which is much like a Coleman stove, but maybe a little nicer. I don't know. It's a stove's a stove to a certain extent, but we like the Primus. It has really positive ignition when you start it, which is nice. It does run on either a 1-pound like Coleman propane tank, or we have a hose that's hooked up to an 11-pound propane tank that's on the side of our Venturist all the time. So I'm not bringing 1-pound propane all the time when we want to cook. In terms of pots and pans, we mentioned we have the OVS bin that our pots and pans go in. And it's amazing, when all our pots and pans are in there, there's still a lot of room. So these pots and pans, again, we'll put a link down below. There's various sizes, and they have these felt kind of inserts that go in so when they stack, they don't scratch. But the cool thing is, if you want to take the handle off, it just comes off. So when you stack them, the handle actually comes off, and when you want to cook, you just clamp the handle back on, and away you go, and you're cooking. So those pots and pans have made it really easy to bring like a lot in a variety of pots and pans because the handles are interchangeable between all the things, whether it's a griddle, whether it's a frying pan or a bigger pot, it's the same handle and they just clip right on, so that's pretty cool. So since we're here at the fender, the wheel's right below us, so why not talk about the wheel? So the Venturist is built for going overlanding. It's meant for rough terrain, places where normal campers and RVs just shouldn't go. And so obviously you can see it's got some really significant tires. and it does have independent suspension, which means there's no axle that runs between the tires. So the tires can move independently, and it makes for a really incredible ride as you're going over very rough terrain. So that's one of the really unique things about the Venturist. Also, from front to back, there is one main support that goes front to back. So it gives a lot of stability, and you could actually hook the Louis up to the vehicle and tow somebody from the back of the Venturist, because that one support goes all the way from front to back. So it's a really rigid frame, but really forgiving suspension in terms of going over rocks and rough terrain. So one of the modifications that we made was adding this really big toolbox to the front of the Venturist. It's a really unique toolbox because the lid is like on the front 2/3 of the toolbox, and then on the back side there's nothing. And it took us a while to figure it out. It was a bunch of trial and error before we actually started drilling holes in the box and mounting it. But we have it offset off the front of the Venturist just a little bit, but it's perfect to the point where I can open the box and it doesn't hit the air conditioner. So I have access to everything I need in terms of tools and extension cords and leveling blocks, all that stuff. We actually keep our chairs in here. So the kind of the concept is everything we really need to go camping is either in the Venturist or right next to the Venturist in the garage. So chairs stay in here, but this toolbox has made all the difference in the world. And I just love being able to flip it open and without a care in the world, lift up that top and know that it's not going to hit the air conditioner. So yeah, the toolbox has been a real game changer. We absolutely love our DC powered freezer/refrigerators. When we go on a camping trip in Louis, we typically bring a dual zone. This one's from Set Power. It's a large unit, so it accommodates all of our food, all of our drinks for a couple days. So this side is set for freezer. It's currently 13 degrees, and this side is set for refrigerator, which is currently 36 degrees. So don't have to worry about ice melting, coolers, all that stuff. And it just sits in the back of my truck. We do typically have a EcoFlow Delta 2 power bank in the back, and we plug the DC refrigerator into the EcoFlow and the EcoFlow into the truck while we're traveling. So we can go for a couple days typically without having to recharge it. But if we're driving at all during the day, the charger on the car charges up the EcoFlow with no problems. So that EcoFlow just gives us a constant power supply, and it works great. We love it. Welcome to the inside of our Venturist. In case you've wondered, the Venturist is 6 feet wide and 8 feet long. And we've often been asked at random gas stations and restaurants when people see it, they want to know more about it. And they ask, well, does it pop up or does it pop out? And the answer to both those questions is no. It's a fixed form, little tiny RV, so 6 by 8. And in the middle, in terms of height, it's a little less than 4 feet high. So you can't stand up in it, but you know that's kind of what going outside is for. However, we do sleep east-west, so side to side. And what that does for us is it gives us all this space between the edge of the bed and our cabinets that you can sit up. You can put your feet down, you can put your shoes on, all those things. So just a really good area where you can sit on the bed and still kind of, you know, do your thing in the morning. And so it works out really well. And you're probably wondering, what the heck is Joel leaning on? So this is our Julka Gotta Go toilet. We do use and bring the toilet inside at night. And then we do have a tent that we typically bring with us. It's a shower tent, like 2 sides, one side for a bathroom, one side for a shower. And we'll take this outside. It's super light, super portable, and we'll just put it in the shower tent outside. But at night it comes inside, and it just doesn't take up much space, and we like it a lot. So Julka Gotta Go, check it out. In terms of some other modifications we've made, the Venturist did come with a 100 amp hour battery, lithium battery. It came like that, we didn't put that in. And so you can charge that battery with shore power or solar power. And what that allows us to do is run any kind of 12 volt device in the camper, in the Venturist, without being plugged into shore power. So we installed a few USB chargers so we can charge our devices up here on the countertop. I installed some underbed lighting that we can turn on at night because it actually gets pretty dark in here. So that underbed lighting gives us a little bit of ambiance at night. It's not quite so dark. And then also, as we store things under the bed, that underbed lighting allows us to find stuff under the bed a little easier when we go to look for it. There is a max air fan, which is in front here. It is 12 volt, so it's DC powered. You open it up and you hit the button. Oop, that's the light. There's your fan. And that basically pulls air out of the RV. If you look in the back, you'll see 2 round circles. Those are actually vents. So on a nice cool night, air can come in through those vents, come across us, and this max air fan will pull air out. So max air fan, along with those 2 vents in the back, really does a few things. It keeps us cool and also pulls humidity out of the space, because 2 people in a small camper creates humidity with your breath, and so keeps the space dry and also keeps you nice and cool. In terms of other modifications in the RV, I did add some lighting, under-shelf lighting. Just so when we come in, we can turn the lighting on really quick and just have some, easy lighting. Oop, there, Amy's turning it on and off. It works fantastic. It's a little motion sensor. And so added some underbed light or under cabinet lighting just to make things a bit easier to access when you come in. And then these bins, they look like they're 12 by 12, but they're not. They're 12 high, 12 wide, and for some reason, like 9 or 10 inches deep. So a typical 12 by 12 cloth bin didn't fit in here. So Amy hopped online and through, I don't know how many hours of search, happened to find these felt bins that literally fit in there absolutely perfect. And she special ordered them, I think, on Etsy, and they came from Ukraine. So all the way from Ukraine, we have 2, and we actually ordered 2 more, and we have them sitting at home just as spares in case something happens to these. We like them so much, we just wanted to make sure that if something happened, we actually had some spares available. And then there's some drawers for storing stuff in there. Right now our drawers are pretty empty because it's a short weekend trip, and didn't need to bring much stuff with us. So all in all, Louis is really practical. It's comfortable, it's practical. We do have bins up top here that has lots of storage of different things, kind of sort, whether it's, cups and koozies or Bluetooth speakers or cables. That's all organized. Some shower caddies. So everything we need really is here. But the most important thing in Florida when it's summertime is that guy, air conditioning. So the battery, I mentioned, runs everything 12 volt. This is 110 volt AC. So we either need a generator if we're way off grid, or shore power at a campsite to run the AC. But this guy makes all the difference in the world when you're in Florida. So even with that AC on, we'll still run that max air fan. We're bringing cold air in, and this is sucking all the moisture out, so that when we wake up in the morning, like the inside of the camper has no moisture, it's dry as a bone, but also really comfortable. So you may be asking yourselves, why don't we have curtains on our windows? Well, because we sleep east to west, our feet are down here by this window and our heads are by the other window. So if we had curtains, they'd be knocked off. So our windows actually have a blackout film applied to them, which keeps it nice and dark in here. And when you open it up, it's nice and bright. So yeah, blackout film is good stuff. So we've had a variety of thermocells for a long time, which is basically, it's an insect repellent, right? It uses some kind of fuel, either thermocell specific fuel, and these little pads that kind of heat up and emit, you probably can't see it, but a little bit of smoke. They emit this little bit of smoke that keeps bugs away. So for the Venturist, we upgraded. We got 2 of these larger thermocells, and they use isobutane as a fuel source. So they screw on, and because there's so much fuel, we're not constantly changing out fuel, because the thermocell fuel you get for their devices is typically pretty small. So we can run this thing for, who knows how many camping trips. We've been on 5, 6 camping trips, and it's still completely full. We absolutely love our Devos Night Ranger 2000. So it's a cool name, but it's even a cooler product. So it's a light, and we didn't think we would ever need it, but now that we have it, we love it. It is controllable by an app. So if you're looking at the light, I can turn the light on and off with an app. On and off. I can change colors. So if I want it to be red, so at night we can make it red because insects aren't attracted to red. I can make it amber for a bit warmer. I can make it bright white. You can turn off individual lights if you want to. So it really does kind of give us all this versatility in terms of light around the campsite. It extends really high. I bet it's 12 feet high at least. And so if bugs are attracted to any of the light, they're attracted to light that's 12 feet above us. So between giving us some good light, some ambiance, and pulling the bugs away from us, this thing's fantastic. It does recharge, right? So it's not replaceable batteries. And it does use some batteries. So if you're using it every single night, you probably need to charge it like every single day before you use it again. But really fantastic product. Again, something we didn't think we would ever need, but once we got it, we're like, how do we ever live without it? When it comes to fire, we typically always bring a propane fire pit. This one's from Outland Living. It's called the Fire Cube. And it's like just the right combination size for being compact and portable. We do have a nice soft case that it goes into, but also big enough where it provides some heat. Enough people can kind of fit around it. So incredibly comfortable. And we bring propane for a few reasons. One is you don't end up smelling like smoke. We love a natural fire, but it seems like no matter where you sit around a fire, you're always getting the smoke. So you don't smell like smoke. In some cases, we find ourselves in places where there's a burn ban. So with a propane fire pit, we don't have to worry about that. And when it comes to cost, you know, a bundle of wood nowadays is not cheap. And so you can get propane for about the same price as a couple bundles of wood. And with a 20-pound propane tank, we can get 2 nights of fire out of this propane fire pit. So lights up easy. I don't got to worry about putting it out at night and having hot embers. So it literally just turns off and we're ready to go to sleep. So Outland Living Fire Cube, awesome fire pit. We believe that any good camping trip includes a hammock or 2. So we take hammocks almost everywhere we go. And we do like hammock stands because hammock stands allow you to put a hammock wherever you want. Wherever the shade is, you can put your hammock. This hammock stand is made by a company called Awning. And we do have 2 hammock stands made by a company called Hammock. We like them all. They set up really quick. They tear down really quick. The hang is very consistent. You don't have to worry about how high you're hanging your strap on a tree. So hammock stands really do make for a great camping trip. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the walk around of our Venturist and some of the modifications we've made to it. We've been on a number of trips so far and absolutely love it. Hope you got some good ideas in terms of the gear we use. We're very deliberate about the gear we pick. Try to find things that are high quality, reliable, incredibly functional. So hopefully both the tour of our Venturist and the gear just gave you some ideas of what camping can be like. It doesn't have to be roughing it. You can be out in the middle of nowhere and still have kind of a home away from home. So if you like the video, please like, subscribe, comment. If you have questions about the Venturist or have questions about the gear that we use, just send us a message in the comments and we'll respond and let you know what we know and give you as much information as we can. So again, thanks for coming along and hope you guys have a glorious day. So for now, it's hammock time.